just arriving in Marlborough, gone over the ridgeway, dropped down the other side of that ridge, and we're a few miles on. As I was just before I got the camera out, I heard this noise, sort of metallic, how to describe it. It's hollow and metallic, and basically it's a golf course to my left, and it was somebody teeing off, and that's what the noise was. But I couldn't see them through the trees, and I was like, what's that noise? And that's what it was. So yeah, here we are, the sign for Marlborough, or something like that. Rugby tournament on. I saw a sign back there for the literary festival, if I could say it. Oop. Anyway, I'm going to need to put the camera down now. It's a bit busy up here. So I've gone slightly off route down to the petrol station in Marlborough. The high street was pretty busy, you know, with shoppers and what have you. Although I'm not particularly anxious with the COVID thing. You know, I think it's prudent just to avoid crowds if possible. So I've come down here. They've got some, well, they didn't have much in the way of sandwiches, to be honest. I think the lack of lorry drivers is starting to take effect now, as some of the stuff's getting quite low. Anyway. So the other day I found my first ever LED rear light I bought, which would have been the early 90s, maybe the late 80s, I can't remember, it's that long ago. And it's kind of comparing it with my lights now, you know, that's sort of 30 years later. I mean, it was groundbreaking, that technology, you know, going from filament light bulbs and D-cell batteries and those ever-ready night riders, or whatever they were called. I used to jump out the bracket if you hit a bump. So I think I'm going to do a video on my lighting setup, and I'll put that light in. I'm surprised I've still got it, and I found it in a toolbox. I was having a bit of a sort out the other day, and I was surprised I still had it, because I've moved about 4 times, so I bought that. So yeah, we'll do a video on my lighting setup, and what I use and why it works for me, because everybody's different, you know. So I'm in Ramsbury now, and I'm in this sort of village square, if you like, and got these things up on this tree. I'm not sure, that's like a welcome home thing, isn't it? I don't know. Oh, hang on. Anyway, what of interest is this old van. It's a Bedford, I think. Oops, didn't come on the floor there, that's a bit embarrassing. Austin, it wasn't a Bedford. So, plenty of buildings with thatched roofs around here, you can see. It's absolutely lovely right here. I think I might change my mind in a second. I'm about to turn right, and go up this hill, and yeah, it's 17% according to that sign. Here we go, just over the little river here. So I followed this all the way from Marlborough. Usually, as is the case, the road goes up and down, but the river obviously stays at the same height. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera away because I need to pull my backside up the hill. Well, the hill out to Ramsbury doesn't get any easier. You know, it's straight up the side of the valley, out to the valley wall, for want of a better description. There's a couple of walkers at the bottom, the guy goes, enjoy the hill, with a wry smile. Oh, it's windy up here. To get home at shelter, being in a steep-sided valley gives you. So I'm now, as I said, just heading south now from Ramsbury. Hungerford is kind of off to my 10 o'clock, a few miles. I'm not going that far over. I'm going to head further to sort of the 1-2 o'clock from where I am at the moment direction. So I miss Hungerford itself. But I can see Coombe Gibbet or whatever it's called in the distance. There's a funny story about that. I did a 400 back in May, beginning of May, and I rode down through the New Forest, down to Lymington, caught the ferry across to the Isle of Wight, around the Isle of Wight, caught the ferry back from Ryde to Portsmouth, and then got the Gosport ferry across the Gosport, and then rode back through Winchester and that way, and it brought me up the southern side of Coombe Gibbet, and on the top of there, it's a ridge, there's a monument to the parachute bridge, something like that, and there's a bit of a car park and what have you, for the dog walkers and the hikers and what have you. Anyway, I got there about midnight, something like that, and the car park was absolutely full of people. Well, I can only imagine what they were doing, but there was this sort of awkward they were all looking at me as I rode by, not me looking at them, thinking, what the hell are you doing? I think I know what they were up to, and takes all sorts, I guess. Anyway, just gone through the village of Foxley, something like that, and I'm nearly in Little Bedwin, and about half a mile before I got to Foxley, riding along, and I became aware of a pair of aircraft above me, piston engine, and I didn't spot them to begin with, and then I did spot them, but they were probably a good couple of miles away, but you can make it out. And the one was very close to the other, so it was trailing the other, almost like they were taking photos of it. And it did look to have had a light blue underside, so I'm thinking Hurricane or a Spitfire, and they're taking photos, which happens a lot. But because they were that far away, I couldn't make out what the light blue underside aircraft was. Anyway, I then became aware of a third aircraft, again piston engine, sounds like a Merlin as well. And at this time I was able to have a good look, and it was a P-51 Mustang. So it must be a part of a collection or something like that, and they were out taking photos, and yeah, it's quite interesting. And then I went through Foxley, and there's a little climb back out of there, and I could hear this aircraft again, and it was a P-51 again, and it looked as if it was like doing a big loop, big circuit. But yeah, interesting things you see whilst out and about. So I'm now at Tidcombe. And Tidcombe is the most southerly point of the rig today. So I'm going to head west. So I should have a crosswind now. So the last sort of 10 miles has been quite tough, because of the headwind. And yeah, just about halfway, thereabouts. And yeah, it's been it hasn't been exactly fast, but I'm not doing it for that anyway. But a lot of passage on my part, and the headwind, so it's just made it a bit slow going. So they said on night it turned west, so it should be more of a crosswind. I think it's more from the southwest, so it will be sort of a cross headwind-ish. And as I veer more towards the north, it'll be less of a hindrance, so that's good. But yeah, all good so far. All good. I've now passed through Pusey and I'm about 10 miles from Devizes. Just gone through a bit of a shower. Not too bad, but just enough to dampen the roads and me. I shall be really glad when I get to Steeple Ashton and head north. The wind's quite strong today. I was hoping it could be a bit easier, but yeah, maybe it's just me. So I'm near to Alton Barnes now. Just thought I'd swap my bottles over. Have a bit of a bite to eat, to be honest. 77 miles done. What's that? 53 miles to go. I'm only halfway. It looks like I'm going to be riding into another shower in a minute. Which is a shame because it's actually stunning up to this point. Yeah, there you go. There it is. Houston, we have a navigation computer error. Yeah, it sent me up this this bridleway, which is actually all right because I need to water the scenery, shall we say? So it's come at the right time. As I was coming along the lane, I don't remember. I left up here. No, I wouldn't have done because I haven't been along here before. But yeah. Oh dear. Yes, it adds a bit of spice, doesn't it? A bit of variety. I mean, even this tree is down. I'm gonna have to walk round that. Oh dear. Anyway, we're about 4 miles out of Devizes, but I passed to the south of it in Potterne, I think it's called, and then through to Wharton, and then Keble Airfield, and then Steeple Ashton. When I get to Steeple Ashton, that's the point where I turn north, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This wind's quite strong today, and yeah, it's been pretty hard at times. You know, you're just creeping really. But I've got all day. There's no real rush. Yeah, that's what I love about Audax. You know, sometimes you want to lean on it a little bit, feel a bit carried away, and then other times, you know, like today for me, I just take my time. So yeah, I did a different route out of Pusey than I normally do, and I actually went the wrong way for about 100 yards, and then the old wahoo started playing up. Says to me, you know, you're going the wrong way, so I have to do a U-turn in Pusey and come back the other way. I was hoping to see the one-eyed monarch, and but that was the wrong way, so I haven't seen that today, if it's still there. And the one-eyed monarch is you get these people putting out these I think it's to do with like the harvest festival or something, because it's like a scarecrow. They put it at the bottom of their drive or whatever, and yeah, this one was like dressed like a king, but only had one eye right in the centre. Made me laugh. I saw that a few weeks. Oh no, it must have been a couple of months ago now. Anyway, yeah, I didn't go past it today, so otherwise I would have showed you what I'm talking about if it was there. Anyway, better press on, and in a little while. think this only goes on for a couple of 100 yards. It's not too bad. And if I remember rightly, I've actually got another bit around Castle Combe to look forward to. Ooh. This is a bit muddy. I really haven't got the tyres. Oh dear, you can have a good laugh at me. My lack of off-road prowess. It's a bit of a rut, and it's incredibly slippery. I've got slicks on, so yeah, you can imagine the problem I'm having. Kind of need Lizzie Duggan to show me how to ride this. Just that little bit was a little bit too boggy. I suppose after the weather we had yesterday, I'm not surprised in the slightest. Yep, so as you're going forward, you'll find out that I don't always pick the fastest routes. I pick the routes with adventure, and that sounds a bit corny, but you know, I'm all for creating memories now. You know, my competitive days are over and done with. I've got the mental scars for that, but yes, this is quite overgrown with stinging nettles as well. Oh dear. The end of that now. Yeah, that was interesting. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. It was just you know, just too much to try and film one-handed and ride through something that was quite slippery, and I was getting a bit of wheel spin as well, so had to give up on that idea. I turn that camera off, yeah. Yeah, so basically I could have gone round, but you know, whatever, I quite enjoyed it. A little brook in the bridge and what have you, so I've been along there before, so I call that new miles. I always like new miles, places I haven't been to before, or roads or whatever. Anyway, let's crack on. Time's getting on a little bit, so I don't want to be doing too much riding in the dark if I can help it. So just gone through Bulkington. Just prior to that, came through Wharton, and my official route took me along a dirt track again. Now, knowing that it's rather boggy and I don't know it, I opted, the common sense kicked in and I opted to go round. Probably added a mile on, but a mile and a half, but time wise, probably the same. So yeah, I'm kind of heading west. The wind is from my left, and as you can see in front, it's rather dark over there, so I'm hoping that's going to blow through by the time I get there. Getting a few spots even now, to be honest. So this is the point where I finally turn north. It's been a bit of an old slog to this point, so I'm in Steeple Ashton, and yeah, the church is rather spectacular. I've never noticed it before, and I've been through it loads of times. Let's see if I can get a view of it. I'm not actually sure you'll be able to see it on this camera because it's a wide angle lens, but I'll take a photograph of it using my phone and I'll insert it here so you can have a proper look at that church. I mean, it's spectacular. It's such a small little place. So as I came out of Steeple Ashton, there's a bit of a hump to get over, and as I got over the brow, I could see it was raining quite hard in the distance. So obviously it's nice here, but luckily I'm stopping in Wiltshire, so that will hopefully give it time to sort of blow through and I won't catch up with it. Not sure if this is going to come out on the camera, but there's a rainbow in front. So, figures so far. .8 miles done. About 32, maybe 34 to go. That's not too bad. It's 4:30, just before. So what's that? I've done that. That's about 8.5 hours. So not particularly fast, but the wind's been pretty strong. There's a few spots where it's proper hard work. Anyway, I quite like this last bit. A bit grippy to begin with. You know, nothing massive, but just enough to slow you down. At least we've got the wind in the right direction now. That's it, mate. You burn up more fuel you can't get. The whole thing about that is people have modified their behaviour. There you go. So I've made it as far as Biddestone. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is the village pond, duck pond. All these ducks were on the edge here when I turned up. They all decided that I was a bit of a threat, so they jumped in the water. So, figures 105, call it 106 miles done. So I got about 45. Not too bad. 5:15. Should be home by 7:15. So that's alright. So I'm now at Castle Coombe. In fact, the other side of this hedgerow here is actually the racing circuit, and when there's events on you can be here and you can hear the cars going round. But yeah, my final stretch of off-road is there in front of me. I'm going to take a gamble with this one. I've been along it before. We shall see what it's like. As you just saw, it wasn't too bad, it's a few little boggy bits, but, you know, seen worse. It's this bit that, although it's tarmac, just at the moment, if there's anywhere that's going to be flooded, it's going to be along here. So, wish me luck. Well, this wasn't an update I wanted to give. I'm absolutely gutted, and I'll show you why. I've got 4 hours to do about 18 miles, and I've got to limp home because I've got no other way of getting home from here. However, I'll show you why I'm a bit of a problem. So, I don't know if you can see where my finger is. I've broken the lug. Cracked all the way across, and it went on the last little hill. If you can see it. So yeah, could have done without that. good job I've got another bike for next week and what have you, but I'm absolutely gutted. I've had this bike 5 years and never missed a beat, and just clink, that's it, gone. Well, that's for the mockers on the day, hasn't it? It's that bad that the Wilts moving now, so I have to take it extremely careful and extremely slowly. And just mooch home. I think on the steep little ramps I'm going to be walking. I don't want it to go completely, at least as I am mobile, even if it's like having the brakes on. Well, I'm about 10 miles from home now. Done about 8 since the incident. And having to think about it, I've had a bit of a knock at the back last week and this week, so I'm wondering if it's been going. It started going last week. I thought it was a back wheel, but I couldn't see anything because I checked for all that sort of thing. And anyway, it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, good job I've got a backup, so I'll be back on me Dolan for the foreseeable. I mean, it is a Linsky, they do repairs, so it'll probably have to go back to the Linsky in the US, I guess. That'll be months, so yeah, I probably won't see it again until next summer. I think I might get a new frame anyway. I'm going to have to take all the parts off of here. Might get a new frame, just throwing ideas out there, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit deflated now, as you can understand, you know, but yeah, there's no point in getting angry about it. It's just one of those things. I've broken frames before, and yeah, I suspect I should break some more. All that power coming out of this elite athlete. Believe that, you'll believe anything. Anyway, I'm going to keep mooching on. I'm only going along at a very slow speed. That's all I can do. I don't want it to fall apart completely, and you know, I'm walking the rest of the way then. My other half's at work. There's no buses, no trains, nobody to come and pick me up now, so I've kind of got to go very careful. I know it's a daft thing to say, but I've still got a good 3 hours or so. So I'm not completely insane. Really, actually get me points in. Oh, you've got to laugh, haven't you? You've got to look at the funny side of it. Anyway, there's somebody coming up the lane, so I'm going. Well, I've managed to limp it home. I think if I'd been a bigger rider, that wouldn't have been possible. It would have been an expensive bit of origami. Yeah, so I'm about a couple of 100 yards from home now, and I'm going to wrap the video up here. I'll let you know how I get on with this frame, you know, what happens. Because it's gone in a really weird place. I would say I've never seen it go there, a frame ever go there, but I've broken another frame, a steel one, a number of years ago, in roughly the same spot. I don't think it's anything I'm doing, and it was a Ridgeback, a Reynolds Ridgeback, and they gave me a new bike, so they didn't argue. They just went, yeah, no problem, lifetime warranty, we'll just give you another bike. So I actually got a new bike out of it, but I'm not so sure how Linsky will do this. Obviously they're in Chattanooga in the US, so we might have to ship it off there and I won't see it for months, so I'll use my other bike. I might use it as an excuse to get an N+1, to be honest. But anyway, thanks for that's ended up as a bit of a bum note on the end there, but other than that, it's been a brilliant ride. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next one.